But right now, it's time for the most motivational segment in all of sports. It's the Bud List. It's also an opportunity for us to read some viewer mail. For the year 2024, what's wrong, bro?
Nothing.
We get tons of mail for the year
mail.
2024. Just satchels.
I know there's something coming. You're not slick anymore. 10 straight weeks.
Dear Wilds, love the show. After the Packers loss, there sure was a lot of talk about Cowboys losing their jobs. Yet Mike McCarthy is staying. Are there any lessons to be learned here for you and the show? Howdy, Ryan and Brian. Well, first of all, Ryan and Brian.
Howdy.
Howdy is a hello, not a goodbye. It's not like aloha. You cannot use it for both hello and goodbye. But there is one lesson we learned about Mike McCarthy and Cowboys. It's the fact that regular season record, very strong. Cowboys just behind the Chiefs and actually better than the Bills and better than the 49ers. So what I think the lesson here for the show is, bro, is that you shouldn't be defined by just one playoff loss, and consistency matters in a successful organization. Time for the Bud List.
You really?
That's it?
I told you, I'm a man of my word.
Wow.
I told you we retired the Cowboy, and
That is disappointing.
I don't trust it. All right. This is an interesting Bud List. Like I said, it's all quarterbacks. And I think one of the interesting discussion points you guys might want to have is it in the right order of pressure?
Oh.
Right? Because it's least pressure to most pressure.
Sure.
So at number 3, Brock Purdy.
Oh.
All right, Brock, you had a fantastic season. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right? But despite you going out there and making your first Pro Bowl, I would even say you were third team All-Pro if such a thing existed. Such a thing existed. It was Lamar Jackson. I think you would have been third team All-Pro.
That's not a thing.
But that's neither here nor there.
Mention.
But right, you broke the single season passing record for yards in the franchise of Montana and Steve Young. I mean, my gosh, that is incredible. You led the league in passer rating and yards per attempt. Despite all of that, there still are doubters. And I'm telling you, Brock, it might be unfair, but if you go out there and lose, or really if you don't play well, the doubters will pounce. And they'll pounce hard. Now, I don't even know if San Francisco, would they try to do something at quarterback? I have no idea. So go out there, do your thing, be you, represent the Iowa Mafia, and lead your team to a victory. Brock, I believe in you. All right, at number 2, more pressure now than Brock, Josh Allen. All right, Josh, this is the big one. This is it. Now, you have really owned Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the regular season. You've won 3 out of 4 games, but of course in the playoffs, you're 0 for 2. And if you lose this game, then the story's going to be you can't beat Mahomes no matter what. And I'm telling you, Josh, if not now, when? I mean, Kansas City's offense is the worst we've seen in this Mahomes era. You have the home field advantage. There is no excuse for you not to go out there and win this game. And if you lose it, you also might lose your coach. So go out there and play your game. Now, play a clean game. Clean. That means 1 turnover or less. All right, don't force the big play. If the big play presents itself, like the 52-yarder, I'm sliding. No, I'm not. I'm going for a touchdown. If it presents itself, go for it, but don't force it. All right, just be yourself. Let the game come to you. And Josh, I do believe in you. At number 1, now this is the most pressure I see, guys, of all the quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson.
100%.
Lamar, you're likely to be almost certain to win your 2nd MVP award. You will be the youngest quarterback ever at 27 years old, about 9 months younger than Mahomes, to have 2 MVPs. And check this out. In the regular season, you've got more quarterback wins, 58, than any other player through their first 6 seasons. And yet, of those quarterbacks, only one who has won 50 or more games in their first 6 years has fewer playoff victories than you. You're 1-3, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in the playoffs. Andy Dalton's the only one with less, 0 wins. So you got to go out there and do your thing. Look, the story's going to be, if you don't get it done, that you are a regular season quarterback and your style just doesn't win in the playoffs. That might be unfair and you might prove it wrong later, but that will be the story for the upcoming off season. So Lamar, I definitely believe in you. You've had a great year. Go out there and do your thing.
Excellent Bud list as always.
Great Bud list. Always excellent, but you got the wrong quarterback in the Buffalo KC game. It's obviously Patrick.
Coach is on nonstop.
No, here's why. We're talking so much about the road playoff game, his first road playoff. You know why you're on the road? Because of you, Patrick Mahomes. You're on the road because of you. Let's take a look at this graphic, one of my favorites. Prior to this season, 10 games of a sub-80 passer rating. This season, 7 games of a sub-80 passer rating. So we want to know why we're playing an away playoff game, Kansas City? It's because of Patrick Mahomes. So now you go into the game. You're playing the walking wounded. 3 linebackers, 3 cornerbacks, a safety. Everybody's banged up. You've got a healthy defense. It's second in points. It's second in points, second in total yards. You've got a running back that averages 4.6 yards a carry. You've got all those things lined up. Now, how have you played in the playoffs? Let's look at it. Let's look at the playoffs. So here's his playoff game last week. Here's what it was in all the Super Bowl years. 56 completion percentage. Look at the other numbers. Look at his TD percentage.
It was cold.
2.4, 7, 9, 8.9. His passer rating, 63.6. 114, 118, or 83.6. I'm sorry, as opposed to 114, 118, 111.5. So you're on the road because of you. Everything is lined up. You've got the supporting cast. And now, if you're the greatest of all time, as Nick claims you are, it's time for you to be the greatest of all time.
That was compelling, Coach. That was very compelling. I know it bothered Nick, but those were facts. Those were facts.
It's a fact that the reason the Chiefs didn't have a better record was because Patrick Mahomes played. You agree with that take?
No, I'm talking about
the
numbers he dropped.
Listen,
But
I hate
those
to do
are
this.
Listen,
I hate to do this. I have to put one of us on the Bud list. So I am putting on the Bud list. Go ahead and reveal it, please. No, that is not.
I knew it was coming. It's more Nick than Wild. It's more Nick than you, Wild.
Take that down.
I'll give you that.
I am putting Coach Mangini on the Bud list. Our own Mercury Morris for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you might be like, oh, wait, what? Is it because Coach Mangini is trying to protect that he was a part of the last back-to-back? Doesn't want the Chiefs to do it? And the answer to that is no. Coach Mangini is not a selfish person. That's not why he's doing it. He is trying to protect something far more important to his heart. The legacy and the memory of the current GOAT, Tom Brady, against the man attacking his GOAT reign in Patrick Mahomes. Because the fact of the matter is this. It's 100% correct. And the reason is because Coach Mangini, if he were being honest, loves Patrick Mahomes. He thinks he's the best quarterback in the league. Handles himself the right way. Took less money. Did everything that he would ask him to do. So why does he constantly come on television and attack him?
Because of this. My expectations are higher than
No, it's actually because of this. Because through the first 15 playoff games, obviously Patrick has better stats, and we all know Tom never won a game against a team with injured players. That clearly didn't happen. No, you made
Super Bowl wins.
Wild.
Should not be up there with.
Wild. I am getting there.
At the very bottom.
It's not at the bottom.
Well, it is actually. Technically.
Okay. Through 15 playoff games, that's where they're at. If Patrick wins this Super Bowl this year, the only thing Brady has him in, they will be even at, which is the Super Bowl wins. And we can show you through their 6 playoff runs, which is where Patrick is. Now, while Coach is using as a negative the fact that Patrick Mahomes has a top 3 defense, that was Tom Brady's entire life for those 3 Super Bowl victories. And so Coach is not anti-Mahomes. He is just so pro-Tom Brady that he is threatened by Mahomes, which is why he comes on television and goes against Patrick Mahomes. So I'm putting Coach on the Bud list.
Fair take.
That's exactly what it is.
It's a fair take.
All right. That was good, Nick. You know, I think Mahomes is the GOAT. I was the first to ever say it. Or soon to be
Jordan-esque.
Greatest player.
I'm putting on Dan Quinn's interviews. Mike McCarthy's back with Dallas. We don't know if Dan Quinn is coming back. He's invited back, I guess, if he doesn't get a head coaching job. I just think these interviews are a little bit awkward. You go in like, hey, I'm Dan Quinn, a great defensive coordinator. And the person who's doing the interview is like, why did Arizona run all over you with 222 yards? Like, well, that was just a one-time thing. And then, like, the Bills did it with 266. He's like, got me again. And then the Packers ran for 143 and just kept on running the ball. He didn't have an answer for that. He's like, it's a fair point, but what about the tomato cans? And it's like, all right, well, let's move on to the passing offense, or your passing defense. You had this play, Dan Quinn. Can you explain this? That was one of the most open plays in NFL history. He's like, this was just a miscommunication on our part. So moral of the story, Coach, I've never been in these coaching interviews, but how do you think Dan Quinn is answering these questions, which I feel are super awkward?
Well, the last one is called an old shoot screen, where they got him. It was a trick play. They got him with that. And I think you have to look at his body of work. And yeah, there's going to be some hiccups during the course of the season. That's consistent with any coordinator. And if you look at it collectively over time, and you look at all the good games he's had and all the great defensive performances, I think that's what you
that grace for Patrick Mahomes that you afforded Dan.
Well, I guess my bar is so much higher when we're comparing him to Tom Brady.
See, there it is, comparing him to Tom Brady.
Jerry, I'm Mike McCarthy next. He's not going to be on the show, but it would be sweet.
It would be nice. It would be great.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.